Hello again, it's me, Victoria Pendragon, and Nipper. Today I want to talk a little bit about dreams. I might talk more about dreams later. As I am sure you are aware, dreams are just amazing. And it's funny because in sleep magic, which is, for those of you who are unfamiliar with me and what I do, sleep magic is a technique that came out of my healing from an incurable fatal disease. And it is very much about allowing the body to do what the body does best, which is heal. And when I am mentoring and counseling people on using sleep magic, I counsel them not to pay attention to the content of their dreams. And I do that for a reason, and it has to do with the mind and the ego. However, some dreams are special, as I'm sure you know. Many of us have the ability in our dreams to travel outside of our bodies. Many of us have access to what I, for lack of a better word, would call portals, in which we go into other dimensions, or in which our consciousness, not so much our consciousness, because the consciousness is associated with this physical body, but in which perhaps the spirit level of ourself that inhabits us and spans all the lifetimes in which we exist, that aspect of ourself can travel when we're asleep. It doesn't happen for everybody. Maybe it could. I don't know. But certainly for a number of people it does. And so there are those of us who can time travel in dreams, and this is where predictive dreams come from. And there are those of us who simply go to other dimensions where life is not as it is here. One way to discover if you are open to that sort of thing, if you have that capability, is to get a human design reading. There are various ways to check that out. You can look them up online, human design. And it'd be a deep reading, not a shallow one. There are levels of human design to explore with consultants, but there are ways that they can turn up what are called your access to portals in the dream state. So that way, if you did not know if you had access, these people could point out to you that yes, you did have access to certain aspects of dream travel. And then perhaps you could cultivate that. You know, lots of times people, they see people have a gift and they can do this and they can do this, and you're like, well, why can't I do that? I'd love to be able to see auras, for instance. Well, there are certain things you can learn how to do, and seeing auras is one of them. With the dream travel and the portal stuff, I don't know about everybody learning how to do it, but I assume if you have the capability in your makeup to utilize these portals, then it's there. So, just saying. You may be able to find out if that's something you'd like to do. The body, the sleeping body, is very much in its own integrity because the mind is not there to interfere with its functioning. Our minds are always trying to control things. Even if we're not aware that they're trying to control things, they're trying to control things. So what happens very often in the casual, normal dream state, which is probably rather closer to Charles Dickens' interpretation of it than to anything else. He said, he referred to a dream as nothing more than an undigested bit of beef. Meaning that something that's happening in the body that's not quite right is triggering something. And then we, as human beings, seek to identify the feelings we're having or the images that we're getting and put them into a sense that we know about. And so the mind interferes by trying to interpret what's happening in a dream. That's why I caution my sleep magic people not to pay attention to that kind of a standard dream, the kind that just goes on and on and on, where you're going from one place to another, and it's really an ordinary dream. The extraordinary dreams are another matter, because they can open you up to possibilities. They can bring you inspiration from other realms. All of this, very valuable. And you can tell the difference. A person who is open to these kinds of dreams knows the difference. If you've ever had a dream where something has seemed particularly real, you've probably stepped through a portal into that state where you're actually engaging with other consciousness, engaging with other consciousnesses in their dream states also, so that you're actively co-creating an event outside of your body, then perceived as a dream when you wake up and bring it back. So the dreaming realm is available for these things. I myself have been a vivid dreamer since childhood and aware of these many differences for all my life. And I have time traveled. I have had wonderful inspirations for paintings and things come from dreams. Certainly all kinds of other inspirations just for life and writing in general coming from dreams. But I too had the perfectly ordinary dreams where you are, walking down the street and you see a box top and you pick it up and it turns into a rat. And there's pretty much no sense interpreting those things, although people do. But that's the mind at work. And the mind is not the part of you that has the valuable information. It just isn't. It's your body that has the valuable information. And while you can use your mind to interpret something that's maybe valuable or maybe not, your body knows things. So when you wake up from a dream state and you know, I was there, or you know, this is what has to happen next. When you know that, that's the body speaking to you. It's allowed you access interdimensionally to information. When you wake up and you say, okay, well, I was walking down the street and I found a box and there were 3 cats in the box and one of them didn't look well. And I'm looking for a job and I've been looking at this job over here and I'm not sure. Just stop. Just stop. If there's that much interpretation involved, there's no knowingness. That's the mind. And God bless the mind. It's a very useful thing, but it's not the same as knowing. The mind is an excellent calculator, things like that, but it doesn't know the way the body knows. So make the most of your dreams when they have something to offer. And when they don't, let them go. And if you feel that you'd like to know more about your own dreaming state, consider human design and checking into that. You'll have to Google it. I can't think of any of the websites off the top of my head. There are quite a few. So have a nice night. Have a great sleep. Have a good dream. And we'll talk later. Thank you for coming. Bye.